Hello, my name is Amber with Madison Rose Quilting Co. and I'm going to show you how to make the surfboards blocks. It's a relatively straightforward pattern, but I'll give you a few tips and tricks that might help you. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put together your sky and your sand, and then go ahead and set it aside once you have the two pieces together. So I'm going to walk you through with putting together block number 1. Block number 2 and 3 are pretty straightforward, but we're going to be doing, sorry about that, these angles here. So first off, what we're going to do is I like to set them out so that I can see which order they're going to go in, your smaller one on top. And then this angle is a 30 or 60 degree angle. So what I do is I have this ruler that has a 30/60 degree angle on it, and I set this line along my edge over here. And that gives me my perfect angle. So you can draw it on, you can cut it right here, whatever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And you're done. Now this one is going to be the opposite. And so I'm going to put my 30 or 60 degree angle on the right side instead and put it right down the edge of the fabric over here. And that's the angle that I want for there. And then I'm going to cut it. Again, you can mark it with a pencil or scissors, whatever you're most comfortable with. So next we're going to add our stripes. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure you have a 1/4 inch. I've put on this side extra, so you can use a ruler here if you'd like. You need to go at least a 1/4 inch on the other side. If you want to make sure that you have it in the right spot, you could also put a ruler at a 1/4 inch and fold it over. What you're looking for is, do you have enough room that your points go across or farther on each side? In this case it is, and so I'm going to go ahead and do a 1/4 inch seam. And then if you fold it back, you're going to see that I have plenty of room. If I line this up here, I have more than enough room here and more than enough room here. And I've intentionally given you longer pieces so that it makes it easier. So again, same thing here. You're going to line up your smaller piece a 1/4 inch over this side. And again, if you want to look and see if you have enough room, then you're going to sew that. And then generally press these open. And then again, we're going to do a 1/4 inch on, sorry about this, a 1/4 inch over on this side here. So when we put this, we need this to be a 1/4 inch extra on the bottom side. When you lay it out, it should line up pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and sew that up. And now when you open up your block, that's perfect. It matches up. So you have extras on both sides, which is perfect for when you cut it out. So next you're going to take your heat bond paper. This is bumpy on one side and it's paper on the other. And you're just going to go ahead and press it onto the back of your block. Now when you're pressing, I do generally press it this way and follow your instructions. You do want to be careful that you don't have extras or too much extra here or go off your paper because it will stick to your ironing board. So you, I do it now so that when I am cutting out my surfboard later, that my stitches don't come undone. So that's why I'm choosing to do it now. So I'd normally go press this. So then my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my template, and I have 3 different lines. The red line down the middle is for my second block. This black line at the top is for my first block, and then the purple line at the bottom is for my third block. So I'll show you on each. But how I've chosen to do it is this black line, you can line it up with this line right here. Normally this would be ironed flat. So there's a couple different options that you can do. This looks good to me. You can trace it out with a pencil and then cut it with some scissors. I like to just hold it and use my rotary cutter right around, and just make sure you're using something, this is paper at the bottom, and so just make sure that you're using something that is can be used with paper so you don't dull your really nice scissors or rotary blades. So this would be ironed on, and then you can go ahead and cut that out. And this is a mostly finished block, but I'm going to just show you from here how I go about it. So for the middle block, when you cut it out, you line it up top and bottom with your red line. And then this one here, line it up with the bottom, and this block is a little off that I've made prior, so sorry about that, but it'll line up perfectly. Or you can make up your own design. Now when you're placing your blocks, what you want to make sure, what I do first is I fold it in half. And when I fold it in half, I mark the bottom and I mark the top just with a fold. So when I'm placing my first block, I have my middle line right down the middle of my fold. And then you want to make sure that you have a 1/4 inch at the bottom for your, because when you sew it in that way, your surfboards will be right at the bottom when you sew it together. Then I go ahead and I take off the paper off the back of the heat bond, which when it's heated up, it'll come right off. You can, I just get my fingernail under there and I pull it off, and this is not going to do it very well. There it is. So then you have it's kind of sticky. It is a smooth, but it won't stick without heat. So I go ahead and place it, then I press this one on. After I'm done pressing this one, I go ahead and I do these two. And these should be evenly spaced, and they are spaced at 3 3/4 inch from the center to center. So I mark my 3 3/4 from the top, and then again from the middle at the bottom on each side. You can do a little fold or a little mark, or just put it down with a pin. Then I go ahead and I press these two on, and you're just about done. Now you get to choose your stitch that you want to do. I have been choosing mostly a blanket stitch on mine, but you could do a straight stitch. I would play around with it and choose a stitch before you do it on your final block, just to make sure that you know what you want. Because I also know on mine, my blanket stitch doesn't quite line up like I would expect it to sometimes. So I'm going to move this over here and choose my blanket stitch, which is number 28. On my final block, I did choose a thread that was fairly similar to the colors. This is not going to be. I'll also show you so if I do a blanket stitch, I try to stitch right on the edge. If I do a straight line, and I can't see it, sorry. If I do a blanket stitch, I do it right on the line. If I do a straight line stitch, I try to go in about 1/8 of an inch to hold it in. And then you're done. Then you can attach, next week you'll receive your Polaroid edges and how to put the blocks all the way together. So it's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, feel free to ask or send me an email or Instagram. And it's just a really fun block. You can do, I've done both plain and pattern blocks, and I love how it comes out in both types of fabric. So thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see what you make. Bye.